Hello everyone, this is Patrick and you're cooking up with Pat. Today we're going to take a classic tomato and mozzarella salad and elevate it by using heirloom tomatoes, burrata mozzarella, mint, basil, balsamic glaze, some olive oil, and shallots. And we're going to present it on a Himalayan salt board. Let's get started. First thing we do to get started is take our heirloom tomatoes and season them. We're going to put them on a cookie sheet. We're going to drizzle over some olive oil. And you can massage it with your fingers, get all the olive oil on the tomatoes. Then we're going to season them. We're going to put just a little bit of salt on them, because once we present and plate the tomatoes on the salt board, they're going to be seasoned by the salt on the board. Ideally, you want your tomatoes to be sweet. These aren't as sweet as I want them. So don't be afraid to add a little bit of sugar on your tomatoes, massage them in. And this way they'll be a little sweeter once they're done. What we're going to do is bake these tomatoes at a low temperature of 170 degrees for about 25 minutes. This will make the tomatoes softer, it'll make them sweeter, and it'll bring all the flavors out. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is chop up some shallots. You want to make them really thin, and what we're going to do is we're going to put them with the tomatoes as they bake. These will turn soft and caramelize, and it'll add a lot of flavor to your tomato and mozzarella. So after you cut up your shallots, you want to add them to your tomatoes. And again, you want to massage them in. Get all that good shallot flavor on your tomatoes. And now it's ready for the oven. Okay, while the tomatoes are baking, we are going to chop up some mint, really fine. And we're going to add it to the tomatoes probably halfway in, about 10-15 minutes in to baking. We're going to do the same with the basil. And chop it really fine. And we're going to bake it with the tomatoes as well. Okay, along with this burrata board, you want to make some crostinis to go with it. So we're going to prepare our bread. We're going to cut them up into probably like 4 pieces. Normally I use ciabatta bread, but I don't have it at the house. So we're gonna use some good old French bread. After I cut them all up, I'm gonna drizzle some olive oil on it, a little bit of salt, and I'm gonna bake them 375 to 400 degrees until they get nice and crispy. Okay, now we're gonna prepare our crostinis. You can arrange them in your cookie sheet. Drizzle some olive oil on them. Then we're going to salt them and bake them at 375 in the oven until they're crispy. Okay everyone, everything is ready to be plated on our Himalayan salt board. If you haven't had the opportunity to use a Himalayan salt board, I suggest you go out to maybe William & Sonoma and purchase one. You can plate food on it. It'll pick up all the flavors of the salt. You can grill on the grill with it. You can put shrimp or fish or steak, anything on this Himalayan salt board, and it'll pick up all the great flavors. So I suggest you go out and buy one. First, we're gonna cut a tomato. We don't want to put the, let me use this other knife. We don't want to put the cheese directly on the salt board because it'll pick up a lot of the salt. So we're gonna cut out 2 big pieces of an ugly tomato. I love ugly tomatoes. I'm gonna place them on the board and we'll start there. We'll put some basil. Basil on the tomato. Before we put down the burrata cheese. A burrata is a type of mozzarella that has a very soft inside, very creamy. It's like having creme fraiche in your mozzarella. So we'll take that out and we'll put it on top of the tomato. Take the other, put that there, slide them together. Now we'll place our tomatoes, shallots, basil, all on top. In the middle, you can make it any way you like. I like to make this on Valentine's Day. Special holidays as an appetizer. And there you go. Okay, now that we have the tomatoes and the mozzarella plated on the Himalayan salt board, we're going to take some balsamic glaze and drizzle it over the cheese and the tomatoes. You can make any design you'd like. We'll get ready. We'll put some crostinis on your board. And we're ready to eat. I like to pair my tomatoes and mozzarella with a nice Rutherford Hill Chardonnay. It goes really well with the tomatoes and the cheese. If you like what you saw tonight, please subscribe and like my page. My name is Patrick Hicks and hope to see you soon.